Good afternoon, guys. In yesterday's lecture, we have seen object-oriented analysis and design. Under that, we have seen how to identify classes and objects. There are four strategies for identifying classes and objects. First one is noun phrase approach. Second one is common class patterns. Third one is use case patterns, use case driven approach, and last one is CRC cards. In last session, we have seen three strategies. Today, in today's session, we are going to see fourth one, CRC cards. So CRC means class responsibility collaborator approach. This model was developed by Beck and Cunningham in 1989. This approach is an effective way to analyze scenarios and identifiers classes based on the analysis of how objects collaborate to perform business functions. This CRC card modeling is simple, but if you know about or you have hands-on experience to analyze the techniques of for making of CRC cards. Okay, so CRC card is divided into three sections: class name, then responsibilities and collaborators. These three sections consist of class name, responsibilities, and collaborators. Okay, so the class name appears at the top of that CRC card. Okay, that class name consists of candidate classes like student, teacher, and seminar. Okay, it is present at top of the CRC card. Then next one is responsibilities. Responsibilities means attributes and operations of that class. Okay, then third one is collaborators, that is relationship between the relationship between two classes. So see the example of CRC card. Consider class name as a student and the attributes and operations of student like name, address, phone number, enrollment in seminar, drop a seminar, request transcript, and consider several operations like insert, delete, update. Okay. So then the relationship that is collaborator is seminar class. That means student is going to enroll for seminar. Student and seminar are different classes. So student is collaborated with seminar class. The next one is creating CRC models. For creating CRC models, it consists of three steps. First one is identify classes responsibilities, then assign responsibilities, then identify collaborators. So identifying classes responsibility means whenever user comes with whenever user comes with their requirements, we have to analyze that system and build some specification and models, and we have to identify the elements of object and classes. After that, we have to assign some responsibilities based on that identified classes and objects. That is, we are suppose consider one example of student. If we are analyzing the class student, then we have to assign some responsibilities to that student. That responsibilities means attributes of that class or attributes of that, for example, student class. So that responsibilities means their attributes and their operations. Third one is identify collaborators. We have to identify the collaborators from that requirements of that object model. The next one is we have to specify the attributes with visibility. Visibility means here we have to access some attributes of that class outside the class. Okay, we will see it later on. So first we have to identify the attributes. Before that, we have seen that we have identified objects and classes based on requirements. After the identifying classes and objects, we have to identify the attributes. For that purpose, what the attribute is? Attributes are usually correspond to nouns, adjectives, or adverbs. So we have to state only required attributes in the class. We cannot add multiple or duplicate classes, or sorry, or duplicate attributes in same class. Okay. So consider your example here, ATM system. ATM system consists of several states like several set of attributes like account, ATM machine, bank client. Bank client means your customer, and transaction classes. So see example, all the four classes consist of several attributes. Okay. So account class consists of number, that is account number and account balance. ATM machine consists of two attributes, ATM machine's address and its state. Okay, then bank client. Bank client means customer. Customer having first name, last name, P number, card number, and account number. Then fourth class is transaction class. Transaction class consists of transaction ID, transaction date, etc. attributes. Okay, this is how we have to identify the attributes based on that class. Then visibility of attributes. There are three visibilities available in object oriented programming, that is public, private and protected. First one is private. Private means once you declare that attributes as a private, you cannot access that attributes outside the class. You can access that attribute inside the class only. Then next one is public. Whenever we are going to declare any attribute as a public, we can access this attribute throughout the program. Then third one is protected. Once you declare the attribute as a protected, then you can access this attribute only once in derived program. These are the visibilities of attributes. The next one is defining operations. Operations means methods. Before that we have seen defining or identifying attributes. Now we are going to see how to define operations or methods for that attributes. Here method means we have to access the attributes, that is attribute data, so that we have to implement some methods to access that data. So methods are defined as services that our object must provide. That methods are used with that objects. Okay, we have to call that object, or using the object we can call that methods. Okay, through that we can access the data, that is attributes. Okay, here methods also can derive from the use case scenario testing. Okay, if you draw the use case diagram, it also consists of class diagram and object diagram. Through that we can also derive some methods. Okay, we have to identify that methods. See the example here. The both examples are same while identifying that attributes and while identifying that operation. Here you can see three columns are there. For account class, two attributes, number and balance, and three methods, that is operations, or you can call methods. Similarly, for ATM machine, bank client and transaction, there are several methods, okay, for accessing that attributes data. Then last topic is finalizing the object or class definition. How to finalize the actual what is class is. So there are some guidelines for that naming classes. Okay, how we can give name to a class. So first one is we have to use noun phrase. That means consider one example. Class name is my latest books. This is noun. Okay, so we have to see that it should be a singular or not plural. So we have to use only singular as a noun for class name. Here you can see first one is my latest books. So after adding singular, it will be my latest book only. Then we have to avoid possessives. That means a selfish word or word like my, myself, etc. Okay, so we have to add or we have to avoid that possessive words. So after removing that possessive word my, it will be a latest book. Okay, then we have to remove irrelevant adjectives, like here a class name having latest as a irrelevant adjective, so we have to remove that. So remaining word is a book. So we have to use class name as, always remember that the class name should be start with capital letters. Okay, so we have to use initial letter as capital letter. So okay, it's a book. Then we have to remove the spaces between that words. Then it, always remember that class name does not contain any articles. Articles means a and the. Okay, we have to remove that. So only remaining word or remaining class name is book. Okay, so this is the guidelines for naming classes. Okay, how to give name to the class. Okay, so in this way we have finished with chapter number first, object oriented concepts and principles. Okay, thank you.